Cool. What do you say, Maria? Should we get started or should we wait a bit more?
We could get started with our question. We want to see who's here today.
Awesome. Let's definitely get started. So, like always, if we can move to the next slide, that'll be great. Um, like always, we want to see who's here today. So, in the chat box, let's put up because I want to see who's here. So, again, your name, your role, your charter school, and last, the question that we want to hear today, which is, what is the energy that you're bringing into this last Zoom session? And Lucy, my amazing co-host, if you could, let me know what is the energy that you're bringing to this last Zoom session, Lucy? How you feeling?
Hola, buenas tardes. Gracias, Javi. Pues me siento muy emocionada, alegre porque ya casi estamos en las finales. Casi terminando, gracias a Dios, con mucha energía, empoderada y con ganas de seguir adelante y juntar a más papás que sepan de nosotros, darnos a conocer, dar a conocer FIA y igual tener más jóvenes como lo tenemos ahorita. Gracias, Javi.
So as well, I feel excited about being in the last session that we are having, session 7, definitely bringing more parents, being informed and being able to bring them along with us and being informing others as well, being able to expand ourselves and bringing other people to our group.
Awesome. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Jordy, for the translation. Coming clutch. I'm super excited, like I was saying, and even more excited for Thursday for our graduation. I know I see our people rolling in. We have Rogelia, Victoria coming in, Xanthony, Rocio, Shantae. Good to see you all. Again, put on there what energy you're bringing to this last Zoom. I see excited, motivated. How's everybody feeling? Let me see in the chat. What energy are you bringing? Maria, what energy are you bringing today?
Javi, I really wish I could pass on this energy through. I am feeling really excited, and I'm seeing a lot of like things on the chat box that say strong, and I'm gonna have to associate with that because y'all like just like connecting in my small group, having some one-on-one conversations. All I could think of is just like all that we've learned, Javi. It has been just such a roller coaster, and how we're so packed in with all this information. And I'm just excited to see like what's next.
Exactly. We got, we're going to spring right into action after this internship. And a lot of folks are feeling the same, motivated, happy, strong. So I'm definitely excited. And, keep on going as you're coming in, keep on blowing up the chat. But let's move on and talk a little bit about graduation. I see Michael saying amped. Awesome. Great. So FIA celebrates you at graduation. So we are super excited to have our first in-person graduation ever. And it's gonna be at Lighthouse Community Charter School this Thursday from 4:30 to 6:30. We're gonna have refreshments. We're gonna have food for y'all. So definitely, bring your family. We have all your RSVPs, so we have all the stuff that we need. And we also have a little gift that like we said earlier, we kind of were sweating a bit while doing it, but we got them done for y'all. We're so excited to give them to you all. A little bit of a reminder, definitely mask up. We want this to be as safe as possible for everybody and just to enjoy it to the fullest you can. And in the chat box for my folks that are here, are you going to be joining us? Are you excited? We want to see you there. We're super excited. So can I get a hell yeah, I'm going to be there in the chat box. I want to see it. Let me know if you're going to be here. But again, definitely, mask up. And yeah, I'm super excited to see you all this Thursday, hopefully. Again, put on the chat box, on the chat box. Hell yeah, I'm going to be there. Cool. Let's I see it's a boy. Okay. Awesome. And let's move on to the next one. Oh, I see some hell yeah, yeah. That's dope. All right. Like always, we want to talk about the importance of our Zoom norms And we've talked about a lot about every session we kind of go through these. So let's make it super quick this time. Super important just to stay on camera, especially since it's our last Zoom session, right? Let's see all of you guys as much as possible, and just take a moment to turn your camera on. Let's see each other for at least let's let it be a last session where we all see each other. Be mindful and make sure you're on mute. If you're not talking at the moment, please be on mute. And again, if you have to if you want to like say something, feel free to raise your hand and we'll call on you. That way, because we want to make sure your voice is also heard. So definitely feel free to raise your hand. And as always, please change your name. We want to make sure that we're marking you in as attending. And I actually got to do that myself, I believe. But if you don't have your name, please put your name, and then you can also put your school. That way we know that you're with us today. All right. Can I get a thumbs up as a reaction? Let me know you guys are all with me right now. Let me see y'all thumbs up real quick. Let's see those reactions. Okay, let me see those reactions. Cool. Awesome. So let's move on to the next one. Hopefully I can see everybody with their cameras on. Let's keep it moving. So FIA mission and values, like always, are super important. Um, we have that first one. We believe that now is the time to break out of isolation and build power through unity. We seek to engage as many charter stakeholders as possible in order to build a strong movement. We value authentic participation and generally reciprocal relationships. We exist to ensure family and youth voices are heard and prioritized. And finally, we believe that families who have been least well served in public education deserve choice and where they share their where they send their children to school. And I want to call on my amazing co-host Lucy. Lucy, what resonated with you about all these values? Let's hear from you.
Ok, gracias, Javi. Pues yo escogería la de valoramos perdón. Existimos para asegurar que las voces de las familias y los jóvenes sean escuchadas y priorizadas. Me siento muy identificada con este punto porque, como muchos sabrán, algunas de los que he contado un poco de mi historia, de lo que pasó con nuestra escuela de ERES, que nos la cerraron, por mucho tiempo estuvimos luchando. Era una escuela de demasiada alta calidad para mí, para mis hijos. Aprendían demasiado y fue una dolorosa, pues digamos que pérdida porque imagínate, con COVID, todo esto, luchamos, nos negaron, hicieron todo lo posible para que la escuela no la cerraran. Y por lo mismo estoy para esto, porque quiero luchar para que ninguna otra escuela vuelvan a cerrar. Gracias, Javi.
Well, yes, I identify myself. Thank you, Javi, for it. We identify myself on we exist to ensure that family and youth voices are heard and prioritized. With this point, definitely many of you have heard my story about how Edis Academy was closed and how we struggled in the fight to keep it open. And finally, we were not able. That was a high quality education for my kids, a good education, and definitely something that we were seeking to maintain. Definitely, we want to identify, to prioritize the voices of the families and the need for the youth for high quality education and bring up this what happened to us and not this to happen again.
Awesome. Thank you, Lucy. That was amazing. And it is super important. That choice, right? And I think we've talked about this so many times about how important choice is and to keep that choice alive. Because when it comes down to it, we don't care where you choose to send your student, as long as it's the best choice for you. It can be a private school if it has to be. It can be a charter school. It can be a district school, right? As long as it works for you and your family, that's the thing that we care about. That's what's most important. We care about high quality schools, and the other stuff, we can care less, as long as it's high quality and that our students from Oakland are benefiting from it the most. That's the most important thing. So again, thank you, Lucy. And let's move on to the purpose of our summer institute. Cool. So our purpose is to build our knowledge of what is happening in Oakland so that we can build collective power by going back to our schools and build teams together so that we can create change. So building teams is the most important part of making change, right? Creating power. We always hear this phrase, power in numbers. So it's super important for us to go back to our schools and share our stories. And the three stories that we created were story of self, us, and now. And in the chat box, I want to ask you all this. What was your favorite story to craft? So I did that training on story of self. I believe Michael's story of now of us, and I think we also did a story of now. So out of those three stories, which one was your favorite? And personally, I can go first, and this is me being unbiased. I just I just love the story of self. Um, I believe story yourself is just like you really talk about your own story and how your story the challenges that you faced, how those challenges changed or it had an impact on your life. So that's super important to me. I want to know about y'all. What was your favorite story to craft? Let me see it in the chat box. If it was story of self, story of us, or if it was a story of now. And if somebody wants to come off mute and explain as well, that would be great. But let me see it on the chat box. Does anybody want to come off mute and share theirs? My chat box looking kind of empty, y'all. What's going on?
Share. Is everybody able to hear me? Well, I'm having issues. I'm on the internet. Are you able to hear me?
It's breaking a little bit.
Okay. I'm gonna step outside. Let me see if that helps. It's weird to find where he's at, and I'm just like right for him. My house is here. Is that a little bit better? Is that better?
Yeah, a little
Much
bit.
better. Yeah, much better.
It is? Okay. Great. Okay. So the story that I really did into was the story of now because it had me really just think of just who I was, my parents, just everything from my childhood till now. So it really had me like really look and be like, hey, yeah, that happened. Oh, and it's just a trip because everything that I've been through in life brought me to like this point in my life where when things happen, it was like I had to act right away. So I really enjoyed the story of self.
Thank you for that. So story of now, also super important. We have Rogelia, who also said story of self, because she felt it was a little bit easier to express herself on it, just because her story. Diego also story of self. Um, Awesome. So thank you. And again, keep on putting in the chat if you haven't. I just think it's super important because when it comes down to it, they're all important. Story of self, story of us, and story of now. All three of these are important. I just want to know which one might stand out more to you. When it comes down to it, it's going to be what connects with you the most, what resonates with you the most. And I'm just curious. Um, awesome. So now let's move on to our quiz. It's quiz time, y'all. Awesome. So or before that poll gets up there, let's just go over the questions real quick, right? So for question one, we have A through G completion rate is low for Black and Brown students in Oakland. So it's gonna be true or false, right? Number two, if high school students do not complete A through G courses, they will not be eligible for four-year college or university. Question three, we do not need more parents and students in order to make change. I don't know about that one. Question four, we need to start voter education today. And then finally, question five, as a community, we have a responsibility to advocate for quality education and grow our parents and youth base. Cool. So before I go over the questions again, let's put the
Anyone see the poll yet? I can't find it.
let's put the poll up here when we have a chance. There it goes. I see the poll now. So again, let's start getting those polls done. Um, Again, let me go through the questions one more time. So question one, A through G completion rate is low for Black and Brown students in Oakland. Number two, if high school students do not complete A through G courses, they will not be eligible for four-year college or university.
Yo le dije que no porque hacía calor y porque íbamos a la iglesia.
Three, we do not need more parents and students in order to make change. Again, I don't know about that one. That's me giving y'all a little hint. Question 4, we need to start voter education today. And finally, question 5, as community, we have a responsibility to advocate for quality education and grow our parent and youth base. Awesome. So let's definitely get those polls done. I'm only at 30% right now, so I'm trying to get it up. We're kind of stuck at 30%. I'm hoping we can get it moving. I don't know about y'all, but I kind of like this poll time. Like it gives us time to kind of look back at the last session. We get to see what we learned and if it stuck with y'all. So 35%. Let's get those polls in, y'all. Slowly moving. 42%. It's getting up there. We're moving. That question 3, man. I don't know. Awesome. It's moving. 57%. We're getting there, y'all. Come on, almost there. Let's get those finished up. We're about to hit 80 soon. I feel it, Maria. We're gonna hit 80 soon. As soon as I said that, we stopped at 73. Come on, y'all. Let me get to 80. No. We're so close. I feel like we need one more. It's so stressful. I'm just looking at the poll, but we got a 76, a solid C.
No, that's
No?
not. No, we are not. No, we're not ending. We're not ending the FIA Institute on a C, y'all.
It's not moving, Kenny.
Somebody got to help us out. We got 78. Somebody just chimed in. We got one more person, and we're getting to the B zone. Who is it going to be that helps us get over the hump?
If I could, I would take the poll.
One more person. We got 33 of 42. We need one more person. Who's going to do it?
There we go. Bam.
Boom.
Got it. Awesome. So let's see those poll
No,
results.
hold on, Javi. We have to cheer us up. This is one of the rare time that we get to 80. So I need to hype this up. Yeah, we did it.
83.
83. Woo! I don't know, but I'm ready to go off. I want to hear everyone say it like a woo woo. Can we sing it on the chat?
Awesome. So that was a pretty great way to end our last poll. And let's see those results. Awesome. So look at these results. Number 1, definitely true. It's very low, and we need to get it higher. And we look at number 2. If high school students do not complete A through G.
Hey, Javi, I had a question on number 1.
Yes.
So are we talking about OUSD or are we talking about charter schools? Because this just says Oakland. So I wasn't exactly totally sure about this one. Because in some of our charter schools and a few of the district schools, it's way over 80%. Some of them are 100%, but it's across OUSD high schools where it's only 41% of Black students and 55. So I think we just got to make that distinction so we're clear about what we're talking about.
Definitely. So I believe when we're thinking about number 1, we're referring to that data, right, that we saw the other day, which is 11% or something like that of Black students, and I don't remember the Latino ones, but it was super low, right? And yeah, so in OUSD, and we need to pick it up for our students. So now number two, if high school students do not complete 3G courses, they will not be eligible for a four-year college, which is true. You need to have those A through G courses completed in order to be eligible to go to a four-year college. Three, we do not need more parents and students in order to make change. This one is super false, right? We need all the parents and all the students we can get. Like I said earlier, power in numbers, or like the warrior slogan, right? Strength in numbers. We need as many people as we can get to make change. Four, we need to start voter education today. True. And this is even more important for our 16, 17, 18-year-olds who are not going to be able to vote, because now with Measure QQ, which is allow high school students to vote, right? Super important. We need to let our students know, especially from our high school folks who are here right now. This is going to be super important for you to spread the message to your friends and to your peers in high school. And then five, as community, we have the responsibility to advocate for quality education and grow our parent and youth base. Again, 100% true. And we got 100% on that one, which is dope. 100% true. We gotta keep on growing and educate our friends, family, and even teachers when it comes down to it. Friends, like when anybody who can tell, we gotta educate them and let them know. So overall, great job in the poll, everybody. And again, I'm super excited to get this session going, this training going. So let's move on to the next one. Awesome. So for today's session 7, we have the amazing Maria Flores, our great FIA director of organizing, who's going to be leading this action plan training, crafting a strategy and plan for our FIA school teams. Super important training, and I'm gonna pass it on to Maria. Can we give a big woo woo to Maria, who's going to be leading this training? Let me see the chat. Come off mute. Let's give her a woo
woo. Woo. Y'all are hyping me up. Thank you, Javi. And all I gotta say is, wow. Week 4, session 7. Are we all fired up or what? I feel you guys, and I love seeing your faces. This Summer Institute has been my favorite, and just getting to know each and every one of you, whether it was via phone call that we had, whether it was that you were in my group or a text message. I just love connecting with each and every one of you. But I'm really fired up of what we're going to get to today for today's session. So if we could go to the next slide. We want to first, we're going to learn how we're going to channel collective power through school site leadership. We can't do this alone. We have to do this together. Second, we're gonna work on creating a plan for growing our number of leaders and prep for school sites one-on-ones, house parties, and just get us going with the crafting of a plan, and also like setting some goals. How many one-on-ones are we gonna have? How many house meetings do we want to have to get to our objective of bringing in more parents and students? So why don't we go to the next slide, Michael? Awesome. Okay. For this, we're going to take some time to look at this video that we have for you. So I'm going to go off mute, and I'm going to let Michael hit his unmute button so we could watch this video.
Limpien bien aquí.
Yeah, we're not hearing anything, Michael.
Estoy ayudando a Alex. Can you hear it now?
I was wondering if you can make it like a big so we can see it all. Sorry, Michael, I'm putting a lot more work on you. I know how tech gets when you're sharing your screen.
No worries. Oh. Okay.
Thank you, Michael.
Oh no, great movie.
Right. Thank you, Maria. If we could go back, I really just want to debrief the video. I have a couple of questions, guys, and this is going to be interactive. I would love to hear from you, so please go off mute. We just want to see, like, my first question is, what did you observe as far as power of groups?
And when you're in a group, everything is possible.
I see
Unidad.
unity, unidad. Yes. When people are come together. What did you see every person doing?
I saw everybody helping each other out.
Yeah.
And pulling for one another, not letting one get left behind or taken away. So yeah, we stronger together than we are as one. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Anthony.
Y se cayó el pájaro grande.
Exactly. The big bird just came down. And I'm seeing that chat box blow up, y'all. I'm seeing everyone talking about being together. I have like 43 messages on my chat box, just bringing in together, sticking together, everyone protected each other. That's what I'm seeing on the chat box. We have to be united to make, to be the force, the work at one, pulling each other's weight. I really want to just emphasize, this is really the difference, like surviving the difference of like being together versus being alone. You will get eat up, you will get attacked, but we need to find that force within our group, and we need to grow that so that we could have more of us protecting, what we're working here at FIA, protecting our education and really fighting for that quality education. We can't do it alone. Can you go to the next slide, Michael? All right, and this is a principle that I love, and our lovely Corey would always bring this up, structure channels power. The importance of having structure and working together to get something done. And I think that really brings a group to be stronger. You're gonna come in to something that's built, that's a group that's supporting each other and growing and bringing in other individuals. That's the power of structure. And in order to build that power, we need to create it. But I don't know about you guys, have you guys ever been in a structureless group working together, and what is the danger of that? Can anyone relate to that? Being in a structureless group. Horrible. I'm hearing horrible, chaotic. Yes, yes.
Carmen has her hand up too.
Oh, Carmen, I didn't see that.
Ay, no, no, no. Yo no. Thank you.
Okay.
Era con la anterior, sorry.
It was with the last one.
No question. Yes, yes. People fighting over power. Ooh, that's a good one. A weak group. Yes, yes. So the importance of bringing in no focus, bumping heads. Too many want to be the boss. I feel ya. That's what we want to focus. Like, how are we going to build like this structure where we're able to empower other parents? We don't want other parents or students to come in and not feel empowered, not feel that there's a structure built for them to come in and participate. Next slide, please. Awesome. I don't know if you guys are seeing these lines or if it's just me on your screen. But yeah. Okay. I'm gonna read through this. I don't know, maybe Michael, if you could stop sharing your screen. There you go. And then. Sorry guys, technical difficulties, the Zoom era. Exactly, someone's just wanting to draw. We're being very artistic at FIA. At least it was a yellow color. It went with our theme.
We're going to represent now. Try that again.
Yes, please. Here we go. Yo, much better. Okay, but we want to make this connection. If you could go to the next slide, the previous slide, of why are we doing this work, and why do we want to build not only a parent but youth teams at our school. So parent and youth leadership teams, they're the foundational structure, and we want to make sure that we access power, we access and channel collective power. We don't want to hold that by ourselves. We don't want to hold all the knowledge that we learned at FIA to ourselves. We don't want to keep those stories of us now and self to for us and only us. We need to make sure that as we saw like in the video, we need to yes, Kimmy, I like that. We need to unleash those stories. We need to connect with others. How many I connected with your story so much, and how many other parents and students are not connecting with your stories. And I think this is the time to do it, and really think of like, how are we going to build our teams? How many more parents, how many more Carmens are there? How many more Santinis are there out there that, want to be involved, want to know the why? And that's how we're going to be doing that when building and connecting with other parents and students at our schools. Next slide, please. Awesome. So when we think of parent and youth leadership teams, we're thinking of a few things. They consist of a group of parents and students. Sorry, we need it at youth there. And these leadership meetings are happening regularly. Remember how we talked about structure? So they're happening at least once or twice a month. And I'm not gonna go in there and lead them. Kimmy's not gonna go in there and lead them. Michael or Javi is led by parents and youth. Y'all, oh my God, like I've seen all of you guys grow so much, and you guys have, like Kimmy says, you guys have the power. You guys are leading conversations. Lucy, Mayra, Tanisha, our small groups. I see Diego speaking all the time. I see our youth like just coming off mute and just showcasing power. These meetings are led by y'all. But they're also structure. So we're definitely looking on creating an agenda, and you know, following through when we have these meetings. Parents and students learn about power and organizing, and there's definitely also going to be time in our agenda when these meetings happen to strategize on what the group wants to do, what do they want to be involved, and how are they going to develop that power as well. But yeah, I want to hear from you guys. There's two things that could happen, right? A really, you know, a team that's going to be really like structure and we're going to move forward. And there's also, you know, like the feeling of being in a team that, you know, it's not satisfying. And we're not going to say that it's going to happen tomorrow. We're not going to say that you're going to build your team, you know, the next day. It takes time and it takes patience. And we're here to support you guys through it. But I do want to hear, like, what has been your best experience in being in a team and what made it great? Have you guys been part of a team, a parent, a youth team? And what has been a really good experience that you guys want to showcase? Y'all could go off mute because I love hearing from you guys directly. Yeah, the question is, what has been your best experience on a team and what made it great? Shantae, I hear you, girl.
I have a lot of experiences because I'm a team player. So when we're doing something, whether it's at work or activity or something that have to do with school, as long as everybody participates, the dream work. Yeah. So teamwork make the dream work because it's no I in team.
I love that. No I in team. Awesome. Anyone else wants to share?
Todos nosotros como en grupo, nosotros siempre damos opciones, aprendes de los demás y todos votamos para hacer la mejor opción. Entonces, de la mejor opción, todos vamos dando una conclusión, qué puede ayudarnos, en qué nos puede apoyar, qué no nos puede ayudar. Siempre dar esa crítica constructiva, que es lo más importante para poder crecer como personas y como grupo, más que nada. Gracias.
Constructive criticism. I love that for growth. Thank you, Diego.
Me gusta esa construcción.
Oh, Jordi, we missed you.
What I like mostly it is that in a group you're able to share out and give out your experience, be able to give your opinion. Your opinions are taken into consideration, and we as a team are able to build up something. We're able to share in a scope that we're not receiving criticism, but we're sharing and we're trying to build up something to be able to achieve and succeed.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Diego. And y'all are hitting the right points. You know, teamwork is dream work. There's no I in team, you know, being able to give constructive criticism and being able to pass on the job fairly and around. So I'm seeing this chat box blow up. So I'm going to go and read a couple of our Rocio, who shares, you know, her experience. She used to unite with parents. Alejandra also shared the unity for supporting other schools as well that she was a part of. I can imagine that you're talking about the car caravan, which was amazing. Thank you for sharing. We're gonna go to the next slide. So these are just some key pointers. You know, remember the animal video. If you do not have a team, you're not organizing. Our power is derived from being in relationship with other families in our schools. We have to continue to spread the word. You know, like we said and we saw in that video. You know, we're not going to be eaten alive if we're all together. We're going to get rolling and get going. Also, when we think about parent and youth organizing, we think about like the numbers, we see like, it wasn't just one ant. It wasn't just one, what are those called? They're not called lobsters, crabs that were attacking the bird. It wasn't just one, it was a lot. So for you guys, parents and students, in your schools, my question is, I want you guys to start thinking like, how are those groups constructed, and what is the number of parents? How many parents and students were part of these groups? So again, please go off mute and share with us. The question is, how many parents or youth were part of these groups, and how were those groups formed?
Aló, oh sí, hola. María, hola, sí. Bueno, pues voy a hablar acerca de eso, de un poquito, ¿verdad? De mi experiencia. Para poder formar esos grupos, tuvimos que organizarlos, 3 personas, para empezar a invitar a padres, para empezar a hablar, a regar la voz diciendo, oh, ven aquí que va a haber una reunión, queremos formar un grupo de padres líderes, y ese fue el primer paso que hicimos, empezar a invitar a personas. Pues de ahí, cuando se formó, aunque sea un pequeño grupo, empezamos a motivar a ese pequeño grupo para que ellos tuvieran ¿cómo se dice? Ay, se me olvida, como herramientas para saber hablar y saber tener un poquito de convencimiento para el otro padre, para ver el beneficio que va a tener el que esté aquí presente para ser un padre líder, ¿verdad? De su salón, de la escuela. Entonces así empezamos, primero invitando y ya después, aunque sean 3 personas, 4 personas, empezamos a motivar a esas personas para que pudieran crecer más el grupo. Sí.
Muchas gracias, Roxana.
So yes, I'm going to talk about this, about how we are able to create 3 organizers as parents. We organize to be able to organize and create those small groups, beginning with the creation of them, being able to form these small groups and have been able to convince other parents, even though they start with 2 or 3 parents, we're able to convene the message and be able to create those groups and going on and see the parents, the benefits. By joining those groups, they're able to spread out the words to other parents, and slowly but firm, we're able to create them, spreading out the words to other parents and the knowledge of what we have learned.
Yes, thank you so much, Rosanna. That is amazing. You talk to parents, you invite them and start to get to know them. And that's how you got the ball rolling. That's really important, and thank you for sharing that. I also see in the chat box, Rocio saying that, having those one-on-ones, meetings, and just like gaining confidence from the parents, or trust from the parents, that's also important. So thank you, Rocio, for that. And that's exactly why we're going to have this conversation next on our next slide. Ooh, next. We have some effects here. So we definitely want to talk about 2 primary strategies, and the power that we're going to have when we talk about the story of self, us, and now. And these are 2 of the primary strategies. Rocio hit one, which is a one-on-one conversation. You're going to get to have these conversations one-on-one, whether it is with a parent or a friend of your school, and then these house meetings that we're calling them. And these house meetings are going to be different from your big initial meetings. Thank you, Michael. You could click next. Awesome. you know, with our one-on-ones, we definitely want to make sure, you know, like Rocio says, building that trust is important, you know, sharing your story at a one-on-one and connecting with others, because others are going to connect with your story of self. Why are you, who are we in FIA, and what is the work that we're doing now, so that other parents could get involved. It helps you identify themes and dreams of your community, and obviously we as a tool to recruit others. So those are the power of having those one-on-one conversations. The house meetings, they're not necessarily house meetings. They could happen at a coffee shop. They could happen at your school. They could happen, you know, at this point, you know, via Zoom. But they're usually like really fast, you know. They affirm self-interest of the parents or students that you invite. And they create a broader understanding of the story of us and now, you know, like how do we put this in a context where we're able to share with more parents and students what we want to build at our school. So having those one-on-ones meetings and those house meetings are important to build that parent leadership team. You know, those house meetings are going to help you identify, hey, we had 5 parents, 5 students that came to this house meeting, but I really saw, you know, how Maria popped out, and she's going to be a great leader for our parent leadership group. Let's involve her, you know. Or we saw 3 parents that, you know, really that came to our house meeting, and, you know, ooh, they learned what they learned about FIA. You know, we see a lot of leadership skills. So, you know, these 2 primary strategies are going to get your parent leadership team rolling and going. Rocio shared in the chat box how those one-on-ones were important. Our homework was for you guys to share your story of self with others. Is there does anyone want to share who did they share the story of self with, or the story of us and now, and what was their reaction? Did anybody share it? You guys could go off mute or share it on the chat box. Rocio, you shared it in the chat box. So why don't I call on you? I want to hear from you. How was your experience having those one-on-ones, and why was it important for you to gain trust
de esos padres?
Sí, María, creo que es bien importante que tengan confianza. Un decir, yo que estoy en una escuela, que varios de esos papás me tengan confianza. Y para poderlo lograr, yo tenía reuniones con ellos, los invitaba a un café en las mañanas o cosas así. Les preguntaba cómo se sentían en la escuela o qué cosas miraban que teníamos que hacer cambios en la escuela, porque todo el tiempo, no todo lo que hacemos les va a gustar a todos los papás, pero si no escuchamos de ellos, entonces, ¿cómo vamos a hacer esos cambios para que ellos se sientan más a gusto en tu escuela? Entonces, pues para mí eso fue muy importante, tener esas reuniones con nuevos papás que llegaban a la escuela para poder escuchar de ellos.
Yes.
Well, yes, Maria, for me, it was super and really important to have and build that trust between the parents to be able to achieve that that rolling process of having that morning chat in the morning in the school, or I invite them to a coffee and be able to share out what are the needs, what is the purpose of sharing all this information sometimes with them. Sometimes they would not agree on that, or they wouldn't like the information about the things that are happening at school or what we can do to change this. But it's really important to form those relationships and be able to reach out to other parents to be able to form that trust, that gathering of groups, and initiate the ball rolling.
Muchas gracias. That is so important. Thank you for sharing, Rocio. We really, I definitely want to highlight Rocio. Rocio has been doing this work for a long time now, and she's a pioneer of our charter school movement here in Oakland. So big kudos to Rocio, and thank you for sharing. and the importance of like having those one-on-one conversations, and why we want to have them, and build that trust with parents. Thank you. If we could go to the next slide, we're going to cover a little bit of how the organizing model looks like. And we're doing it now. We've gone, we want to make sure that we start our teams and our parent and youth leadership teams. So as we could see, our listening part, we're going to start listening, having those one-on-one conversations, listening and, you know, and building conversations. Like it says, building power through relationships. And then you could see in the model, we are going to house meetings and building that PLT. Now we're going to start having those Zoom meetings, those coffee meetings, those meetings outside of our schools or inside of our schools with parents who are interested, and then start building a structure parent and youth leadership team. And then from there, we're going to figure out, you know, the campaign that we're going to get involved. Like we've been saying, we have the A through G campaign and the 2022 elections that we don't want anyone, any of our parents or youth to miss. So we're definitely going to be doing a lot more research meetings through that. And then a collective action. What actions do we want to take action on? Whether it is going to be in our A through G campaign, which we're going to be building through the fall. And or, you know, getting more parents and students aware of the 2022 elections that are coming up. From there, we're going to stop, reflect, how did it go? How did we do? And then start all over. So it's a big circle, but we're definitely, if we could just focus on the one-on-one listening conversation, the house meetings, and building the PLT, and the work that we're doing with FIA, that's going to lead to the next slide. So we can go to the next slide. Thank you. So we talked about these 4 things, and I want to make sure that they're lined up. One-on-ones, having one-on-ones and identifying parents and youth that are willing to meet with you so that you're able to share your story. Number 2, these house meetings, organizing house meetings so that parents and youth understand their self-interest in joining your parent leadership team and your youth leadership team. Number 3 is creating those parents and youth leadership teams. So we want to make sure that we're getting there. And number 4, working actively in our campaigns, in our campaign activities, A through G activities, making sure that we're closing the gap, and we're doing it now, in the 2022 elections. And we're doing that now as we get the ball rolling. I'm going to pause here and see if there's any questions or what resonated most with you out of these the strategy and the cycle model that we have for you. What resonated most? Ooh, Kimmy says number 1, those one-on-ones. And please feel free to go off mute. House meetings, definitely 1, 2. Anthony, can we talk a little bit more about those house meetings? Why are you so fired up about that?
Well, I like it because I get to hear other people's stories. And as I put in the chat earlier, that's what really gets to me, because you connect, that connection that you build with people, you're meeting people, y'all sharing ideas, y'all sharing stories, y'all getting on one page. As you said, like, we're stronger together. So when everybody shares their stories and everybody gets together and they put everything together, we feel like one. So I'm really excited about that.
Yes.
We organize and we, we put our plans out there.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And it's so important to connect with others and also connect with their stories. And that's what I'm hearing you say. I also want to hear from my youth. I see Victoria here in the chat box. So Victoria, do you want to go off mute and just share with us what you like the most?
I chose 1 also because I like the meetings that we had when we were in the little groups, and then I feel like everybody's voice was heard and everybody got a time to share.
Yo, that's so important, Victoria. You know, I can only imagine as youth, you know, you involved with other youth that, you know, go to the school with you, that, you know, participate with you, and just really listening out to what's the reality of your education and, you know, how you're going to advocate for that. So thank you for sharing that, and thank you for sharing how important that is to you. But I see this chat box blowing up, and I can't wait to get us going. If we go to the next slide, yo, it's time again to go into our breakout groups. This is where we're going to have a little bit of time to really craft our strategy of where do we want to move our groups, and how are we going to start crafting our groups in our schools. So we want to get you guys to get thinking. There's 4 things that we want to talk about. One is, who's the best person to work with at your school? Can we identify that? A principal, a parent, a coordinator, a teacher. Number 2, for the month of August, let's set a goal. How many one-on-ones are you going to have with parents and youth to share your stories? And let's start creating that list. Number 3 is your first house meeting. When do you want that to happen? We're July, about to go in August. So can we get a month of when do we want that first house meeting to happen? We'll have some leaders going. And then number 4 is, when do we want to get that strong group of your youth and parent leadership team going? And when do we want to meet? So those are going to be that's going to be our conversation for our small group breakouts. So if we could go to the next slide. Awesome. Your awesome moderator teams. I don't know about you guys, but can we give a heart, thumbs up, go off mute, cheer for your moderators, Tanisha, Javi, Carla, Michael, Kimmy, Lucy, Mayra, Stephanie. Yeah, you guys are rocking. So now is the time that we're going to go into our small breakout groups with your moderators, so we can have a conversation about this and how we're going to craft our plan.
Yeah, and let's get out to our breakout. Let's have a little report back. I want to hear from everybody's group and how it went. Maria, does your group want to start it off?
Hey, how are you? You said our folks?
Say it again.
Did you say Maria's team?
Yeah.
I heard Maria. Okay. So for our team, we're going to have Reina Facundo share out.
Disculpe, no tenemos traducción todavía.
Oh, we need a second to get our.
Okay, Jordy's got his hand up, guys.
Gracias, ya.
All good now? All right.
Buenas tardes. Nosotros en nuestro pequeño grupo estábamos conversando acerca de cuáles son nuestras próximas metas cuando inicia el año escolar y poner en práctica lo que estamos aprendiendo en este entrenamiento. Entonces, hablábamos de que yo pienso que la segunda semana de clases empezaríamos a trabajar en nuestro 1-a-1, compartiendo con aquellos padres que se reintegran a la escuela y compartir con ellos quién es FIA, y la reunión con los líderes, con los directores de nuestra escuela, pues estamos creyendo que probablemente lo vamos a hacer quizás dentro de un mes y medio después de que se entre a la escuela, porque ya vamos a tener bien localizados quién es el director, quiénes son los representantes de nuestra mesa directiva, y entonces creo que ahí es donde podemos nosotros establecer una reunión para que podamos también compartir con ellos quién es FIA y lo que estamos aprendiendo aquí. Entonces, eso es las metas que tenemos y esperamos que, pues aún no es algo concreto, pero sí estamos pensando que basado en estas pláticas, algo va a salir para esos tiempos. Gracias.
Reina! Woo, team Reina, Lucy, Maria, Lucy, and Reina and everyone else.
Okay, so we're thinking about once we are able to go back to our schools and be able to practice what we have learned in these sessions that we have had this summer, as soon as the second week, we're going to have that beginning of classes, we're going to have our one-on-one meetings with the parents and with the leaders of the school and principal. We believe that 1 month and a half after the beginning of the school year, we're going to be able to know who represents us on the board and be able to share our values and goals that we have and concrete to put in front of them what we expect from them. This is not concrete, but we believe that this is the timeline that we have set ourselves for.
Awesome. Thank you for that translation. That was amazing. Great job, Brandon. Thank you so much. Let's go with one of our youth teams. Does Stephanie, you have a leader for us, Stephanie Carla?
Yeah, for our group, Rogelia will be talking a little bit about Rogelia.
Awesome.
Flores,
Rogelia.
I said like the one-on-ones really sound interesting because I feel like when you do one-on-one, like you really have to connect with the person. Like you make sure like they're listening to you by like them talking back to you and like telling you their opinions. That's why I feel like one-on-ones are more effective when trying to get like a point out to someone.
Awesome, definitely. So definitely having those one-to-ones are going to be like crucial to building these teams at our schools, right? Thank you, Rogelia. Michael, you have a leader for us, Michael? Your team want to go next?
I'll go ahead and go for my team real quick. Our conversation mostly, we talked around the process. It's kind of why I'm just going to go for my team. They're awesome, by the way. Go my team. But we had a lot of questions like about around the process. For one, like how do you really get people engaged? How do you really spark their interest in really wanting to build these teams and put these teams together, especially people that may not necessarily stay in Oakland, past that middle school level or things like that. But how do you get them interested outside of just like our main campaigns that we're running? And this is one thing I wanted to make sure that I brought back and wanted to just remind, because that's like, it's a really good highlight just into going into these teams, period. That's why I was like, look, I'm going to go for my team. But remember that at its base and its core, the thing that really brought you to, want to be involved with FIA and in this work in the first place, the reason that we're here is because FIA, first and foremost, specializes in uplifting voices. We're uplifting the voices of our parents, our youth, of the community, and making sure that the people that, make the decisions for our children, be they school administration, policy makers and holders, that they're having the most authentic and genuine conversations with our parents, with our youth. That's what we do before we even get into a campaign that we're trying to move along. That's what we're about at our core. That's why we're all here together in the first place. It's those things. That's your selling point. That's what's going to make them want to be involved. The same thing that makes you want to be involved. That genuineness, and the fact that we're trying to uplift what's important to you and make sure that your community leaders hear you, that those principals and those liaisons and those teachers, they hear you and they're doing right by those that have been done wrong for so long.
Thank you, Michael. And just to add on, yeah, like the importance of sharing your values too. We want to know like, sharing the values with other people, making sure that we're on the same page, making sure that we're like in an understanding and, working together towards that goal. Thank you, Michael. And my group can go next. We're going to have JoJo represent our group. JoJo, the floor is yours, man. There you go. JoJo, hey JoJo, all we're gonna be doing is give a little like what we talked about in our breakout session. So like, quickly about our goals and then how we're gonna do it.
Okay. Our goals.
Can't quite hear you, Jojo. I'm sure.
All right. So our goals were to go with when school starts going back and we have started getting in schools, we will have those one-on-ones with 5 different people, whether it's your friends, teachers, or family members that go to your school. Then we will have to speak with a higher up, like the principal or dean or anyone that we know, and then we could see what we could do, and we could start forming clubs, and we could speak about issues amongst what we're having in our schools, and then we could continue and so on to fix things like align with the issues we have, whether it's letting students know that they have rights to vote, or the issues we have with the A through G, or communications among the schools.
Awesome. Thank you, Jojo. So yeah, those two main goals, right? Making sure that all students at our school are able to share their voice and that they're being heard. And then the second one that you were talking about, making sure students, get this knowledge as well. For my parents and for my students who are here, we've received a lot of knowledge through this internship, and we want to make sure that we go back to our schools and that we're also sharing it to our peers there, to other parents there, because it's going to be a movement of us, right? Our movement. So thank you, Jojo. That was great. Am I missing the group? Rocio.
This is Jean calling on Rocio to represent.
Awesome.
Sí, nosotros tuvimos, yo creo que todos estamos de acuerdo la importancia de tener una comunicación al principio del año. Lo que queremos es identificar una persona que trabaje en la escuela para poder llegar a ellos y poder tener esa comunicación con y la confianza de tener a alguien en la escuela. Y nuestra meta es en agosto tener nuestros 1-a-1 y en septiembre empezar a tener nuestras reuniones de casa. Pero para eso vamos a trabajar bastante, vamos a invitar a las vecinas a hablarles de FIA, a hablarles del propósito. Una de las cosas es de que yo ya empecé a hablar con mi codirectora para empezar a hablar con los papás de séptimo, de 6, 7 y 8, para hablarles sobre de la A a la G, para poderlos empezar a informar desde ahorita, para cuando esos niños lleguen a la high school estén tanto preparados los papás como los estudiantes y tengan las clases adecuadas para poderse graduar e ir a una universidad.
So yes, we had a great conversation regarding how to communicate at the beginning of the year, the school year, to identify someone that will listen out to us at the school site, and we will be able to present them our ideas and thoughts about this. To begin on August on 101s in September, to have the house meetings, and for that we are going to invite neighbors and parents to hear out what we have to say, be able to give them all the information and the necessity that the students, even before they get to high school, they are prepared through to be able to achieve the A through G, so these kids will be able to be ready to prepare themselves to be able to get a higher education, to be ready for those colleges or university of 5 years, definitely.
Awesome. Thank you, Rocio. And again, thank you, Jordy, for the translation. I believe that was our last group, right? Awesome. Thank you for everybody who represented their groups. And it's clear, right, that we all know what we got to do. So I'm super excited for this fall. But I'm even more excited about our graduation that, we're all going to celebrate, right? Before we talk a little bit about our graduation again, let's go on to the next slide and talk about the homework completion. So, this is to be a last opportunity for you to complete your homework. And we've had these homework assignments through the internship, and we've had only a few people who have turned it in. So we're hoping that if there's any assignment that you have left, you can turn it in. That way we have your work, and it's gonna be super. That way we'll have your story of self. We'll have your story of us. We'll have the story of now that we could have, and with your permission, even use, right? Um, so awesome. And we're also going to take a fall campaign survey in a bit, and we'll have a little more time. We'll have some time set up real quick to work on it. Before that, let's get into the fall campaign and talk a little bit about the stipend. Cool. So for being involved, in this internship, you're going to be receiving a $250 stipend, which you have already earned, right? But there's an additional 250 stipend that will be given to leaders who participate in our fall campaign initiatives. So we have the A through G advocacy participation. We have the 2022 election civic engagement, and we also have the school leadership team participation. That you can be a part of, and that you can join and work with us throughout the fall. And for being involved in this, you also will receive a $250 stipend. So in order to learn a little bit more about this like fall campaign, now we're gonna do a quick survey. All right. So if we can go to that next slide. Awesome. So for this part, we're gonna give you all 3 to 5 minutes. Hopefully that'll be enough time to click on this survey. Maria, the amazing Maria, put the survey on the chat box, so you can click on it. And the ways that you're going to be able to get involved is through texting via memorization, which is going to text people in from our call list that we have for memorization, and let them know about A through G. Speak at board meetings as well. Record a video in support of A through G, right? Which some of you already did, which is amazing. And then write a statement in support of A through G. So one of the big important ones that we're going to be working on, right, is A through G advocacy. Something that's super important to me, super important to a lot of us here. And that's what we're going to focus on. So, getting videos in support of A through G and statements supporting A through G are going to be super important that we could use to also, use it to promote it in our page, right, in our IG page, in our Facebook page. We'll be able to use your statements and your videos to show others the importance of A through G as well. So hopefully you all can finish that survey. If you could put done in the chat box, that way I know you guys have completed. That'd be great. So again, I'll say it again. Just the ways to get involved, right? It's gonna be through texting, which we'll set up like dates where we'll like each get on a call and text together. It's gonna be a group effort, right? You're not gonna do this alone. We're gonna do this in a group, in the community, right? We're all gonna do this together. Speak at board meetings as well, whether it's gonna be in person or through Zoom still. We're gonna jump on a board meeting. If it's on Zoom, we're gonna jump on it. And our goal is to take over that meeting, to be honest. We want to be the main focus point in that meeting. We want A through G to be said over and over again. That way, each and every board member there knows exactly who we are and why we're there for, right? That's going to be super important. And again, number 3, record a video in support of A through G. And 4, write a statement in support of A through G. So, for these as well, your organizer is going to work with you to get this done. Video, if you're kind of confused or need to learn more about A through G still, we'll have a call with you and we'll talk to you more about A through G and what you could say, what resonates with you about A through G, why is it important to you, and that's really what you want to talk about in in your video or in your statement. All right. So what are you all excited about? Like, I'm super excited about the board meetings, to be honest. Chat box, could you say what you're excited about? Whether it be texting, whether it be the board meetings, if we're taking over the board meetings, we're going to make it a FIA board meeting. What are you excited about? I see you, Savoy, all of the above. Exactly. How about others? What are you excited about this fall? what's got you pumped? I know I mean pumped is the board means, to be honest. What's got y'all pumped? Let me see it in the chat box before we move on. Tony, telling my stories, building relationships and fellowships and speaking. Cool. So definitely, we're excited, and hopefully you can get that survey done. So we're always excited about those board meetings. Awesome. I see some done. Cool. So hopefully before we wrap up this last session, you all will be able to have completed that survey. For now, do you feel like we're ready to move forward, Kimmy? You want to move forward?
I think we only got one. We got 2 done, so maybe we could get a few more people who are done with the survey, because I think this is a really good time to go ahead and put your best thoughts in the survey so that we know how to reach out to you. Usually, about 70 to 80% of folks from the Summer Institute stay involved in the fall. So we really look forward. Let's amp that up to 80-90% this time around, because we just learning about the issues. We haven't solved the issues yet, right? We need your help. We got to band together like those little crabs did against the stork. We got to band together, right, to make the changes for our kids, whether it be the elections, whether it be A through G. Got a lot of work ahead. All right, thank you. Maida's done. Lucy's done. Shantae is done. Awesome. I think we're ready to go.
Awesome. So if you haven't, hopefully you can get it done. So we really want you all to be a part of the movement, right? This is going to be our movement, like we said. So that's going to be a great way for us to keep being involved, and for you to let us know, what aspect of this movement do you want to be involved in.
That's right.
Awesome. So now we're gonna do the evaluation. Okay, like always, we're wrapping it up. We're wrapping this. This session up. We're wrapping the internship up. And I wanna, well, for one, in the chat box, place a word or phrase of how you're feeling right now. And I also want to call on Lucy. Lucy, how are you feeling? We're wrapping up our last session, Lucy. How are you feeling about this session? What stood out to you the most?
Gracias, Javi. Pues más que nada me siento muy emocionada al saber que vamos a tener conversaciones 1 a 1, conocer, localizar en las escuelas padres, directores, líderes de padres igual, y empezar una conversación con padres y tener un plan con muchos papás. Gracias.
Well, most of all, I am excited to have this done, to identify, to have the one-on-ones, to have identified those parents, leaders, and principals that we are able to work with them towards this. I'm excited to initiate all this, to have all this ongoing thing.
Awesome. Thank you, Lucy. And there's so many y'all blowing the chat right now. A lot of y'all are motivated. A lot of y'all are ready to level up. This is great. So we're super excited. Super excited to keep this work going. And as always, we want to know what's one glow. What did you like about the session? What did you like about today's session? And then also, what's one grow? How can we grow us as like giving you this training? What could be one grow for today? We definitely love the glows and grows that you guys tell us. Let's definitely see it. We still have a lot of how you feeling. We have inspired as well. I really love today's session.
All right, Javi, I think while people put in their glow and their grow, do you mind if I jump in just for a second? Because we have graduation coming up and I wanted to talk to folks about that.
Awesome, definitely.
Okay, cool. So first of all, can we give it up for Javi, for Lucy, for Maria, who killed it tonight? Can we come off our mute buttons, get rid of that mute, and I want to hear, let's make some noise for our awesome moderator. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Well, I want you to keep that spirit coming because Thursday is our first graduation that we're actually going to be able to do in person. So we are so excited. We have about 117 people who are signed up to come. So we are going to potty. And really what we're celebrating is you and your leadership and all of that you have contributed over the summer, the unity that we have built. So it's going to be a great afternoon. We can't wait to see you guys there. The graduation is going to feature really one of our favorite OUSD school board members, Dr. Gary Yee. Who here knows Gary Yee? Who many of you have sat with him, done research meetings. Who here knows Gary Yee? I got hands up. Yep, many of us. So Dr. Gary Yee is coming to speak and he is so proud of all of you. So he really wants to share that with each of you. I'm really excited. We are going to have Mayra Tejeda is going to be our parent speaker, and Rogelia, I believe, is our youth speaker. So can we give them a little encouragement because they might be getting a little nervous. Oh, we're going to pump them up. We're going to lift it up. All right. Can we give them a little encouragement to Mayra and Rogelia? Are you excited to hear their speeches?
Yeah.
You know what?
Yes.
That's right, because they might be the next school board director. How about that? That's what FIA is all about. We're putting you in those seats, right? There's nobody better to sit in those school board seats than our parents. I'm also excited because Xanthony, I just want to shout you out. Xanthony Chisley, are you still here with us? Had the idea, he said, Kimmy, we need to do a cookout. So we said, when we're planning this graduation, guess what we're doing? We're doing a cookout. And so we're going to have Dad Power on the grill. And so that should be really fun too. So can we get a whoop whoop for our dads and Dad Power? Can I hear a whoop whoop?
Woo, woo.
Woo woo. All right, Dad. So we can't wait for the grill. We're gonna have a great time. Just a couple reminders. So we're gonna be at Lighthouse Community Public Schools. Do you guys know that brand? It's like a new school building right on Hagenberger, 444 Hagenberger. You can drive in and park inside the lot. And then there's a really nice outside play area for the kids. And that's where we'll be having the tables and so forth set up for the cookout. We just want to remind you, because we're at the school, we must use our masks at all times, except when you're eating, okay? So just make sure you bring your mask. We'll have some extras, but we're gonna socialize, but we're gonna do it with our masks on, okay? We gotta keep each other safe first and foremost. Also just wanna say, if you're not feeling well, if you're sick, if you maybe have been around somebody who got COVID recently and you're under quarantine, please do not attend, or if there's anyone in your family, please do not have them attend. We gotta stay safe, guys, okay? And we'll definitely get you your gift and everything, but safety first. And then finally, I think those are the big ones. Oh, if you have some FIA swag, you might want to look cute and put that on. You see Savoy's little picture here? If you have a FIA t-shirt from a past institute, go ahead and throw it on, look cute, dress it up. But let's show our FIA spirit at the graduation. And we can't wait to see you guys. We're just going to have a blast. Let's do it.